Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Mole Trap here. By the way, note this esports presented by Kespa thing in the bottom left. I'll talk about that in a second. Welcome to another StarCraft commentary. This is supposedly a match between Flash, who's going to be the Terran player in the top right, and Bisu, who's going to be the Protoss player in the bottom left-hand corner of the map. And I say supposedly because I just found this on TL, and I don't really have a way of verifying exactly. It seems legit enough though, and the fact that we have a Kespa map, and the fact that we have all these observers, and the fact that we have very high APMs going on means that it's extremely likely that this is pro gamers going on. And while I am introducing this, right off the bat, Bisu's gonna set a probe across the map, doing some sort of proxy play, it looks like. In any case, just wanted to before I get too far into this, just give that little disclaimer that I'm not exactly sure like where this is from, or what the replay is all about or anything like that. But it should be hopefully a good game. I'm just going to assume this is a legit replay since it was uploaded as labeled as Flash versus Bisu. Falcon must be the Bisu's alt or something like that, and he's going to be going ahead and putting down a proxy gateway not too far away. And what is this? Is Flash going to do a quick expansion? No, he doesn't have the minerals in the bank for an expansion, but he's actually going to scout this pylon and immediately spots that there's a proxy, almost like map hacks. Look at this. He's sending out a bunch of SCVs. He knows he has to deal with this immediately, and he's going to try to take out this gateway as quickly as possible. Now, a lot of you guys said that you wanted the production tab open. That's going to be pretty easy to do. I might have to get rid of this tab, though, with all these zeros, all these observers. It just really gets in the way, in my opinion. And I can switch it on and off when we want to check supply, or I'll try and switch it on and off occasionally. Which one is it? It's going to be Alt U or W. Is that the right one? Yeah. Nope, that's not the right one. It's E. So I'll turn that on and off sometimes so you guys can see it more often. But it's with all those zeros in the way. I just want to keep it out of the way for the moment. Anyway, these SCVs are going to take this gateway out. Is he going to be able to? Yeah, he takes out the gateway, and is he repairing one of his own SCVs? Or is he attacking it? No, he's preparing one of his own SCVs with the other SCV. It's kind of cute, I guess. Not super necessary, but in any case, Flash has fended off this proxy gateway, and Beast is going to have to get another gateway back over in his main base, and the pylon as well, by the way, in order to power that gateway, obviously. He's going to be able to do okay on supply for a while since he's got that extra pylon over here. It's not as much of a priority for Flash. Bisu getting down the assimilator, and this probe is still alive. This has been being chased around by this Marine for a little while, and is it going to get out? He's going to get out to mine another day. Oh, you can actually zoom in, too. I didn't realize you could actually zoom in also. I thought you could only zoom out for some reason. I think I tried to zoom in, and it didn't work the other day. So, in any case, Marine's going to go ahead and chase that probe all the way out. Flash trying to get his SCV in to do a scout of his own, and looks like he's not going to be able to block it. Bisu kind of realized a moment too late that that was happening. Didn't quite get his probe on the ramp, and the SCV is going to scout around. But the main thing that he wanted to scout was this Nexus in the first place. So I think he feels like, okay, I've delayed him enough. He had to pull a lot of SCVs in order to get the gateway killed. He's not going to have gas, so he's not going to be able to do an early push. There's no way he's going to, probably not going to like build a second barracks and go for a Marine attack or something like that. So it's very likely it's going to be that Flash will be delayed for a while and will be forced into an expansion. And so Bisu feels safe putting his own expansion down as a result. Getting his first Zealot out, it's going to chase that SCV away. Actually, SCV, I mean, could outrun that Zealot if need be, but decides just to escape with it as well instead. Probably going to, oh, he's actually circling back with it. Circling back to get a second scout, and probes are maintaining down, but this is smart because he actually does know that Bisu can't really have a Dragoon out yet, and so there's not. Oh, look at this. The main probes are there at the exact perfect moment that he falls back a few of them to get back on top of that ramp in order to make sure that he can't get a second scout in. So pretty clever move by both players, actually. Now we do see that he hasn't dealt with that assimilator. Instead, he's just taking his gas at his expansion base, and has a bunker up here as well, just as a little extra protection. Very smart move, very prudent considering this Zealot is chilling outside. It looks like this Zealot with the shield damage on it has already taken a chance to poke in and see what's going on. SCV is coming back here. Oh, he's going to be able to kill off the SCV, actually. Can he get by? It's only needs 2 hits to kill it. He gets 1 hit. Ooh, 3 HP. Not even close, says that SCV. Sending out another SCV, by the way. Curious to see if this is also for a scout or if this is to do something crazy. He's going all the way around the top of the map, either way. And yeah, so Flash building his factory now as well. Getting his depot going over here. Finally starting to kill off that assimilator. He's got these Marines back here. He says, okay, the threat is pretty much over. We're not going to see any huge push or anything like that. He is checking with this SCV. Oh, look at that. The Dragoon was heading out to block incoming SCVs. And as a result, Flash's SCV, which is up around the top of the map, gets in and gets a full scout. Well, a half scout, I should say. He wants to see if there's any tech buildings or anything like that. He doesn't see anything. Now, for all he knows, there's a temporal archives morphing down here, or something like that. Not very likely, but he doesn't get a full scout in to see what possible tech could be in the back of the base. He only got to here. So he doesn't quite exactly know if something crazy is going on, but he actually got a really good scout in, and was able to see a lot of the map, and was able to kind of tell that there's nothing too goofy going on. You know, he was able to scout only 2 gateways. Is more than not likely there's other gateways, and he just basically saw the army composition as well and saw that Bisu didn't have a ton of units. So again, he's feeling comfortable, feeling safe, just going for normal build here. Armory is getting up here. Oh, and actually Bisu coming in here with these Dragoons. Now this is the classic dance of the Terran versus Protoss. This is like, you know, one of those scripted like line dances where there's certain moves that you do and you spin around in circles and what have you. This is the TVP line dance, where, not to be confused with line dance, where you have the bunker to prevent the zealots. Then you get the Dragoons with range, and they can outrange the bunker. And then you get the tank to outrange the Dragoons. And you need siege tech to really, really secure the fact that because otherwise the Dragoons can run in and just snipe off the tank. Yeah, so it's not a big deal. But once you get the tanks out, and Bisu's not even going to bother keep up that pressure. He's just going to fall back here. He has gotten his 3rd base, by the way. And by the way, you can see this is a really interesting map situation where you have this this column. You've got the main, you've got the expansion and a ramp, a small choke point, and then there's this wide open area. Very difficult to defend. This is going to be extremely difficult for either player actually to defend. But more so if we end up having Flash get a 3rd base, this whole huge area is going to be perfect for Bisu to take control of. We'll probably see Flash more likely defend on these bridges instead, since those are smaller choke points. But in any case, so you have this huge wide area to defend, and then you've got this back area, which we're seeing Flash actually is going to be showing us an example of. Oh, he spots the dropship, gets a couple attacks on it, and there is, and look at this, Bisu actually built pylons to make sure he couldn't run vultures up here, and his own pylons are preventing him from accessing that back area with his own Dragoons to fight off these tanks. So this is what I was going to get at, and I'm getting at it a little bit too late, because we're seeing the power of this whole top area, because you've got a lot of places to get units in the back there, and this neutral building as well, and the tanks are dropped out. They're going to go down eventually, but they're not going to go down without a fight, doing significant damage. Is he going to get a single Dragoon kill? Looks like no. Oh, he does get a Dragoon kill with that last pot shot, and the tank does go down. So yeah, it's a really weird map where you've got access from your main up to a point, and then you've got this neutral building blocking you from going the rest of the way. And this is, yeah, and it even goes up on further up to this top area up here where there's another base. And we actually see that Bisu, for example, is planted on a pylon in Flash's what would be 5th or 4th base, I guess. Down there, and looks like Flash is not done yet. He's got a tank and 2 vultures and another dropship to come around the top here. He knows that this is protected though, so I'm not sure exactly what he's going to go for here. He may try and squeeze it in another location. But by the way, just checking back over here, Flash is taking his 3rd base, and he's going to have to try and take control of this wide area. Again, building a bunker, putting those fused Marines in it. He's got his tanks there as well. But the thing is he only has to defend that. Right? Wait, what? What? Oh, never mind. I thought I saw something else. But this is just a control tower. For some reason, I thought I saw a covert ops facility, and I was like, what? I mean, you heard me. I said, what? And I I guess I didn't have to do an impression of my what that I did 10 seconds ago. But now that we've fully relived that over and over again, we can get back to this game and talk about how Flash has to control only this area, because this area controls the ground going into this area, going to this area, going up in his main. So the ground attacks are pretty much covered if you can control this one spot here. And now we see Flash is going in with 2 drop ships. I'm taking a turn of that. Okay, don't have to turn it back, turn it off again. 2 drop ships coming on the main and trying to run in vultures in the middle, by the way, as well. The vultures can come in from the top, they can come in from here, but he's got a nice little wall here in the middle, so it's pretty good defense on Bisu's part. Looks like he's trying to get some defenses up here as well. And again, this is going to be a little bit dangerous because then Bisu has to control this area for coming into his 3rd and this area for coming into his 4th. And this is why we see him building just a wall up here. I mean, a full-on attack is something you have to meet with your full-on army as well, right? So we're seeing both players just trying to contain those other possibilities to prevent harassment. So this is not to fend off a huge attack, this is to prevent harassment. Ideally, he actually might even want Flash to come in here and go for a full-on attack in this location because it offers him the opportunity. Oh, and here comes the vultures coming in for a bit of an attack. This is not just harassment, they're actually just attacking these dragoons. What are they doing? He needs to actually micro them a little bit, and they're going to be able to get away there, but not very much damage done, and that's actually really bad for Flash. He lost a lot of vultures and didn't really accomplish much, and I actually missed these tanks getting in the top as well. The dropship must have gone in on the other side, but Bisu now revealing the carriers, and I didn't even spot that he had these 2 stargates at the bottom left. Too busy trying to figure out how the map works, and 2 carriers are out now as well. Very, very smart choice on this map. In some ways, it's not in the way that this is a very open map, very wide open, and it's kind of going to be hard to get from place to place, from important spot to important spot. But in the meantime, carriers are going to be very mobile, and with all these ridges and such, it's going to be very, very useful, especially considering the fact that I think what we're seeing right now is Bisu's going to come up here and attack this top right location, and that's going to force Flash to run his units all the way from here all the way up north into his main base to defend. But that's going to leave his defenses low in his 3rd and 4th base. So here we see these carriers coming in for a little bit of harassment. There are some turrets and Goliaths there. Well, the turrets are in process, but there's Goliaths there as well. He's got these shuttles just on follow, and we've got 2 shuttles full of zealots, possibly more so to be used for dropping on top of tanks if need be than anything else. And that's a pretty smart pretty smart decision there. Bisu trying to clear stuff out of the middle of the map here. I saw this big swath of blue on the middle of the map, and I was like, oh wow, Flash has a lot of control there. It's just a bunch of mines, so nothing too much to be worried about. You can just clear those out with observers and carriers and dragoons, of course, and clear out those mines very, very easily. And actually, it looks like he... Oh no, his observer got a little bit too far away. So now these Marines are... What are these Marines doing, actually? He's just attack moving the Marines. He just wants to clear up supply. We'll go ahead and turn this back on, and we do see that Flash is getting close to max. Bisu, however, is actually maxed right now. So he is in a really good position here. The tank's sieging up. There's not a lot of tanks here. He's focusing more on Goliaths, using his gas for Goliaths instead of tanks to combat those carriers. A smart move. Now, this is going to be crucial. Those few tanks, the fact that he has a few tanks only, means that he's vulnerable. If he can pick off these shuttles before they drop those zealots out, that will be huge. Absolutely huge. However, if those shuttles can drop on top of all those tanks with only a handful of tanks to be spoken of, then it's going to be really, really bad for Flash if he loses them. So it's going to be a crucial thing here. We've got this engineering bay floating out. It's kind of not really doing a ton right now. It's going to float out and kind of spot to see where these carriers are coming in. Give a little extra vision above the ridge for these turrets as well. Well, not extra vision, but give vision at all for these turrets so they can actually fire up above that. Probes maneering across those mines means that actually Flash is going to see. He's going to see these probes, just perfectly placed mines, probably not on purpose, but could be. So he actually is going to know that this 5th expansion is up here as well, or 5th base, I should say. Flash is taking his 5th base at the bottom as well, and we're seeing that Bisu split up his ground army into the south, and then splitting his carriers and these shuttles up into the north, and is going to try and do like a 2-pronged attack. Again, he knows that if he forces units up here into the top, Then, oh, and here we come in. He's coming in with the carriers to soak up damage from the turrets so that the shuttles can get in here with a zealot drop. Very, very nicely done. Now the zealots can actually take care of the turrets, which will protect the carriers. Beautifully done, and it looks like Bisu is actually following his primary army back as well from that bottom location. I'm not sure if he's going to plan on shuttling units into the main with those shuttles, or if he's just kind of getting stuff up here so that he has a little bit of space. So if Flash counterattacks, he's got him in position. Looks like he is just putting those zealots up in the top there just so he can ferry them in if need be. Carrier is doing a lot of damage here, well, to the infrastructure mostly. The starport is forced to float away to safety as well, but Goliaths finally get back up to defend. And I think Bisu might have missed an opportunity here, because while these carriers are up here doing damage, these Goliaths here as well, it could have been an opening for him to push in here. Well, I say that, but it looks like there is actually a lot of defense here. Only 3 or 4 tanks though. Again, it could have gone either way. If those shuttles had been down here instead and he'd be able to drop zealots on top of this army instead, that might have been what he needed to accomplish it. But don't underestimate 5 or 6 tanks. It's still a lot of damage, especially because we see that his army is mostly dragoons here. He had, well, where did his other zealots go? Oh, he's there. He's dropped them in. Exactly like I said. He's referried those zealots in with those shuttles. While I thought that he was just mopping up the Protoss units, but instead more carriers have been produced. By the way, as he's lost supply in zealots, he's had the supply to replenish with carriers instead, and it looks like Flash is maxed as 2 at this point. And I'm surprised we don't see him trying to do more harassment, sending in units, maybe more drops or something like that. Bisu is taking his, what is his, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th base at the bottom of the map. So, and he's taking the 7th base up here at the top of the map as well. And it looks like Flash trying to start moving out now as well. He's picking off the High Templar. Beautiful play. And this is actually, well, look at these probes are just running by the battle, just barely out of range and not getting killed off. This could be disastrous for Bisu, actually. He might have gotten too greedy. He might have delved too deep and too greedily into the mines of the minerals on this map, because now he's being forced back onto the map. And we do see Bisu remaxing pretty quickly because he has a lot of money in the bank. Well, significant. He had some significant money in the bank. He's got a lot of gateways though, and remaxing on ground units as well. But this is Flash's chance. He's trying to push out and take out some of these bases. Taking out this base that is mining instead of the one that's not up here is a good move, and it takes control of that top middle base as well. But Bisu actually going for a counterattack instead of trying to clear that out. I think he knows that Flash's army is just too strong right now, and he's pushing out with a counterattack instead. Is this High Templar? It does have enough for a storm in here. Is he going to get a nice storm on the SSCVs? He looks like he's saving it instead in case there's a vulture attack or something like that. Flash looks like he's just going to sacrifice this base. Just let it go. And instead bring his army down here. Now basically both players just have one army. Flash does have a little bit of money in the bank, but it's only enough to just barely remax off of what he's losing off this battle right now. There's the storm doing a lot more damage against those Goliaths. The carriers are in good shape, but they do not have a lot to defend them now. All of the ground units have been killed off. These carriers are now in danger of being killed off. If he loses this carrier army, it's going to be huge, but it looks like he's going to have a route to safety along the south here. The Goliath's not able to get in close enough to actually kill off. Nope, that's the wrong panel. Whoop, that's the wrong button. There we go. He's able to get back to his own base over here with the cannons protecting it as well. So significant damage done to Flash. Flash is still continuing to attack up here at the top left, but it looks like it's finally going to get cleaned up, by the way. He kind of drew back his main part of his army to deal with that counterattack, and then left just a few units up here. And he's actually able to take off that Nexus. I did not expect that to happen. I didn't see how low it was, and that is a huge blow. It's just up to these carriers to do enough damage. And oh, he takes a lot of significant damage. Oh, he loses a carrier for no reason. Oh, that is huge. He needs his carrier count to stay high so he can just kind of insta-gib these Goliaths. The Goliaths now pushing into the south as well. And a nice storm on one of those tanks, but it's not quite going to be enough. Dark Templars have been pushed into the mix as well to try and deal with this, but Flash is on top of the scans. And it looks like this could be it for Bisu. Bisu does have this base up at the top right, so he's not really lost his economy right now, but he's losing his bases slowly and steadily, and he just doesn't have anything to deal with this clump of mech units in the middle. It looks like Bisu actually ran some Dragoons in here to die. So that's cool. I guess that's good tactics. Running in Dragoons in this bottom right as well. Basically figuring, okay, well, if Flash's army is over here in the middle, then I can go in with these other units and basically do some harassment. Dragoon's not the best harassing units though, so they're just going to die. They're going to be a distraction for a little while, but they're not really going to be able to do significant damage. And this is it. Bisu now trying to hold this high ground, hold the ramp against this army. He does have a good clump of carriers. This DT sneaking in there and doing some damage with all of these interceptors in there. He may not notice the Dark Templar, and it's getting a lot of damage done while these interceptors go to work as well. The scan finally does go off, but the Dark Templar has fallen back. And the Dark Templar does sneak into the end of that scan and does go down. So this base is going to go down as well. Flash has, by the way, almost mined out this base. He's mined out his main. So we're looking at basically one... Oh, there's actually very few SCVs at this base. Basically one, we'll call it one base mining. Or, sorry, two bases mining essentially for Flash. Bisu has this top right base and the top left base, so he, oh, actually the top left base not doesn't have probes, although they are being transferred over there. So basically about two bases each, two bases for each player, and so each player, oh no, he can't lose those Templar for free. He gets a storm off, but it doesn't do any good. Second storm does do a lot of damage though. Third storm, but those Templar were just caught out and basically wasted their storms. They could have done a lot more better, could have done a lot more damage on those tanks. It's up to these carriers now. Can he do enough damage with the carriers to... Whoa, that's speed up. That's not... Sorry about that. I'm still figuring out the controls on these things, guys. Why am I selecting interceptors? That's kind of weird. And there's the GG from Bisu as Flash goes in to take out the top right base. Interesting GG timing, I guess. I mean, if we go back, we did see that Bisu was down like 50 supply, and I think he knew it. I mean, basically the story of the last 5 or 6 minutes of this game has been Flash slowly and steadily. In fact, I guess we can actually just go back and watch the end of this again while we're talking about this. But basically the last several minutes have been the story of this carriers not being enough, right? The story of the carriers just not being able to stop this army here. Not being able to, I mean, they were able to do enough damage here, but you know, with this Goliath count getting up so high, and he's taking out carriers here and there as well. So it looks like there's only like 6 carriers here, 7 carriers, something like that, and it's just not enough. It's just not enough. I think Bisu knew that once he lost this top right base, it was all gonna be over, and there was nothing he could really do to stop it. So yeah, he'd lost this bottom middle base as well, so wasn't in good shape. In any case, so very nice game though, very cool macro game. It's not often you see every single base on a map taken and across the entire map, and then most of them destroyed. You know, we see this one, we see every base taken, then we saw 1, 2, well, 3 and 4, and then almost 5 was about to be destroyed as well. Bases destroyed around the map, and Flash was able to keep his, by the way. This kind of weird harassment with those Dragoons in the bottom right just didn't really accomplish enough, and Flash was able to take control of it. And also, this is crucial too. This was kind of Bisu's real last stand. If he'd had enough ground forces, but look at the supply difference, 90 to 140. You know, 50 supply down is just not where you want to be. And if he'd had, imagine if he has another dozen Dragoons that he didn't lose, throwing them way down here, right? Or actually, more crucially, some Zealots to get in amongst the Goliaths, then I think Bisu has a lot better chance of defeating that. And there he GG's out. Not much mining going on, and just not enough to deal with this army that Flash has. His carrier count was not high enough to deal with the amount of Goliaths that have been built up, and he didn't have the ground army to deal with it. But again, you know, it's just too bad, because if he had a little bit more ground army there, they would have been on even footing. We would have seen a longer macro game out of it, but wasn't able to withstand it. So GG to Flash. Well done, taking out Bisu. Not an easy feat, even if you're Flash. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks very much for watching, and I guess I will quickly say some apologies for, you know, the fact that you know, my observing is not the best. Although I will say one thing though, those of you that are like complaining in comments about my observing of these games, let me just put it to you this way. Every single tournament that has ever existed for StarCraft that has been has had the ability to, has had a professional observer, right? you're not supposed to cast and observe at the same time. You guys probably don't realize it, but it actually takes a lot of concentration to talk about the game and can do a consistent cast of what's going on. And that concentration is it's a lot, and it's difficult to concentrate on casting the game and also paying attention to what's going on in different parts of the map, right? So try to go easy on me a little bit, and remember the fact that I'm trying to do basically 3 jobs at once right now. I'm trying to be analysis and color commentator and observer at the same time, and give me a break, okay? That's all I'm saying. Not to mention the fact that I haven't done this. One guy actually said, "You're losing your touch." It's like, well, you try not doing something for 7 years and then see if you're good at it still, right? It's been a long time. I'm just kind of doing this in my spare time. And I hope you guys are enjoying it though, and thanks very much for watching. And but yeah, and I will mention one other thing, that there is ASL, right? If you guys want to watch professional tournaments with actual professional observers and casting, and all done separately and production quality, there's the Africa Star League, and there's also some other little cups as well. I've actually been noticing a lot of the StarCraft 2 casters are doing their own little cups. Like Zombie Grub is often doing replays of like her viewers, or of and this is StarCraft 2 obviously, not StarCraft 1, but if you're just looking for other people that are doing different casts of small tournaments, there are other small tournaments going on. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks very much for watching. And I guess what I'm saying is, like, there might be other people doing StarCraft 1 tournaments as well that I just haven't picked up on. So look around and find other people, and there might be other cool StarCraft to watch. More the better. All right. Thanks very much for watching. And I think I've said that 4 or 5 times now. So I'm going to say it one more time just to go over the top on the joke. Thanks for watching. Hope you're doing well.